Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome to episode number 143 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike of Hull KR Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at this 1996 home shirt. The 1996 home shirt was, for me, incredible. I absolutely love this shirt. There's so many things about it, and we're going to go into depth about it now for why I really, really like this shirt. So we have seen this shirt before. I've covered it in a previous episode of Talking Shirts, except it had a slight twist on it, because that was from 1997, and it was a shirt that was worn by Gary Atkins in the Silk Cup Plate final at Wembley. But this one here is a regular season shirt from 1996, opposed to that one with the modified sponsor and the game detail that we did see on that Silk Cup final shirt from 1997. So yeah, this one here, manufactured probably under license by Lacoste Sportif. We were just with those guys for that 96 season. Obviously the shirts did carry over until 1997 as well. So we did kind of get to see elements of them in 97 as well, but the shirt designs were kind of exactly the same as what we've got for 1996, minus a few sort of sponsorship changes. The shirt is all red, but we've got so much blue and white detailing going on it, which just make that design all the more special. We'll start at the top, as we always do, and we have got a wonderful turnover collar. I love this so much. It's really thick, heavy cotton. We have got almost looks like a white shirt with a red band going all the way through. That classic design that we've become to know and love as Hull KR fans almost features predominantly on a collar on this shirt, which is a really, really nice touch. The collar also has the Lacoste Sportif branding going all the way through. That's been sort of sewn into the seam there. And then we do end it up here with a placket. Now, a couple of these buttons, they're just not even there. There is the top button, but it wouldn't go all the way around the mannequin, which is why I haven't fastened that. But yeah, we're missing a couple of buttons from here. They've probably come off during game contact. And then below that here, we have got this sort of rectangle of reinforced stitching, which is there to protect that placket from ripping. It doesn't always succeed, but more often than not that it does, and it has on this one here. We've got the Lacoste Sportif branding that has been dye sublimated into the shirt, as has the Hull Kingston Rovers Club crest, which on this shirt is massive. I love how big that is. On the 2025 home shirt, it's really small, but on this one here, it's massive. I would much rather it be a bit bigger than too small. That for me is absolutely brilliant. And then on here, we have got the waist-wise sponsor with their tick underneath as well. Again, all of that has been dye sublimated into the design. Now, one thing that might be really hard to work out from the video view, but what I will do is I'll pop some pictures of this up so you can see it. But we have got the HKR word mark, which has been sort of dye sublimated into the design, and it's kind of secondary. It does feature in a darker shade of red, so when you're up close under the right lighting, you can see it, and it is literally scattered all over this shirt. That's something that when this shirt was kind of reproduced as a warm-up shirt didn't actually translate over, and I feel that's because the people that designed that shirt didn't have one of these in their hand to be able to look at it and see how the design was actually put together. Everything else about that warm-up shirt is absolutely brilliant, but yeah, they just didn't quite get that watermarked HKR logo featuring in the back of each shot. So we'll look at one of the sleeves again for this episode, purely because they are both exactly the same. The design of this sleeve is absolutely brilliant. It's massive, as you can tell here. This shirt's got to be a 48, 50 inch chest. It might even fit me. It's huge. We're looking at this here. So we've got this navy detailing, which kind of starts off quite thin at the top and then kind of just broadens as it goes all the way down onto the sleeve here. We then do get into sort of these sort of zigzaggy lines, almost started as a chevron, but they do continue all the way around the sleeve. Within that, we've got the waist-wise tick. That's part of the sponsorship branding, which features on the front of the shirt. And then we've also got the Rugby Football League It's not quite a competition patch, but that was the logo, if you like, of the RFL. And that does feature on both of these sleeves. Was used quite predominantly through the 1990s, and was a really nice addition to rugby league shirts, in my opinion. Within the red, we have also got more of this repeated HKR word marking that does feature again quite predominantly all the way through this kit. Really nice touch indeed. So that's been the front and the side of this 1996 home shirt. We'll have a little bit of a look at the back, and we'll talk about some of the players that possibly wore this during that 1996 season.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to episode number 143 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was talking our way around this 1996 home shirt, and here we are with the reverse. So the back design of this shirt is very similar to that of the front. It's predominantly red. We've got that HKR watermark that features predominantly again throughout the back of this shirt. I love that so much. I just think it's those small details for me always go a lot further than the more obvious stuff. Really do enjoy looking at things like that. We have got Rovers, which has been sort of dye-sublimated in massive letters. Obviously, this is a period of time where players at Hull KR didn't have squad numbers on the back of their shirt. 1996, we did just feature with the word Rovers. We've got the club crest on the front, the name on the back of the club. Absolutely fantastic. Below that, we have got squad number 17 that has been heat applied to this shirt. So there's a few things about this number. It's kind of made out of felt. You can see that it's starting to crack quite predominantly all the way throughout. It's really nice and really soft to touch. It's a very sort of, like I say, it's felt. It's similar material to the competition patches that we speak about on the 2009 kits. Really sort of fragile in the sense of that if this went through the washing machine, it would probably crack and maybe even fall off. So again, knowing how to look after this kind of thing is really important. If that goes through the washing machine and that number comes off, it effectively ruins it, and that's not something that I would like to see happen to this shirt. The style of number that's been used on the back of this shirt is very reminiscent to those that were used in the Premier League or the Premiership, it would have been back then. Very similar in sort of size and sort of the way that they have been put together. The typeface that's been used, really recognisable. They were, and I just think it's really clear, really nice and easy to read on the back of this shirt. Number 17 will have been worn by various different players during that 1996 season. Players on the interchange bench, they just used to wear shirts numbers 14 to 17, as a starting team would wear numbers 1 to 13. So there wasn't necessarily a dedicated shirt to a dedicated player. It has the number 17 on the back, so I did a little bit of research and looked at who featured in that fourth substitute position off the interchange bench during that 96 season, just to try and pinpoint players that may possibly have worn this shirt. So as you would expect, 1 to 13 was your starting positions, and then 14 to 17 were players that featured off that interchange bench. So I looked at the players that was listed fourth, and then in theory I'm thinking that they will have worn the number 17 shirt. Obviously, none of this is concrete. It's just a good guide for me to be able to at least have a pretty good educated guess at players that may have potentially worn this shirt. The two names that featured the most in that number 17 position were Chris Charles and also Des Harrison. Two players who represented Hull KR for many years. They have both had past ties with the club. One of them has future ties with the club as well, in the fact that his son Jack is going to join Hull KR as well for the 2026 season. And when you just have the ability to be able to look back at numbers and things, it doesn't always paint a true picture of a player or a situation. That's kind of the best information that I've got in terms of players that may have potentially have worn this shirt. There is the possibility that shirts may have got mixed up and that numbers may have got confuddled, but all I can do is go off the historical records that have been provided to me and being able to potentially identify players that did wear the number 17 shirt during that 1996 season. So yeah, that's been your tour around this 1996 home shirt. One for me, which I think is so nice in terms of how it's been sort of manufactured. The baggy fit as well. Again, it's not something that we're used to, is it? These shirts had to be sort of a one size fits all because of the fact that nobody had their own dedicated shirt. So to be able to add one of these from 1996 into my collection is something that I'm really, really happy about. This one was actually located by a friend of mine in Australia. James, he looks over on various eBay searches over there in Australia for me, and if he sees anything that may interest me, he will pick that up for me. So yeah, James picked this one up in Australia. God knows how it got over there, but it certainly did. And then he posted that back across to the UK, more specifically East Hull, to add it into the Hull KR Shirts collection. So yeah, Bud, thank you so much once again for doing that for me. It's nice that we've got that little relationship where we can help each other out all the way on the other side of the world, because we have one common interest, which is rugby league shirts, or jerseys as you would call them. Thank you very much. Episode number 143 in the can. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with episode number 144, where we're going to look at a shirt that was worn by a Challenge Cup try scoring hero, although not in that game, sadly. See you again soon. Bye for now.